Namaste. Welcome to week 4 of this course. We're going to concentrate, like we did last week, on some sitting poses at first and then move into supine poses. We're going to concentrate mainly on side stretches and leading ourselves into twists. So the key to this practice is to remember that we are linking the breath to the whole body. And in that practice, we learn to be with the breath and to not exceed and stress the breath at all. So it's work, not struggle. So enjoying yourself and enjoying the sensations of the stretches are part of the practice. And we're going to start, like we did last week, with a very simple movement, just connecting that pelvic tilt with the breath. So, sitting on a chair if the floor isn't comfortable. But if you're sitting on a chair, then you may need something under your feet so that your feet can firmly reach the floor. And if you're sitting on the floor, then I suggest you either use a bolster or a pillow to raise the hips, or if not, use a block. Okay. So both feet in front of you. I prefer to have my footprints on the floor, evening bird. Perfect timing, as usual. And you don't have to have your legs fully extended. In fact, it's more secure, much gentler on the spine to have the knees relax like this. And tuning into the breath, and because you're sitting, you might want to close your eyes. Now, if you're sitting on the chair, you may want your arms resting on the thighs. You can hold on to the sides of the chair. And if you're sitting on the floor, rest your hands on the knees. And those of you who can, you can pick up that ujjayi breathing, creating that soft sighing sound in the throat. Noticing how the breath is right here, right now, atta. And when your breath has steadied itself, then you can play some gentle movement with this breath. So on the inhale, you would reach up with the chin, forward with the chest, feel the muscles in the back tightening. And as you breathe out, bring the chin to the throat and let the shoulders round. So you're moving on the breath. We're going to do this 4 times. To explore what's comfortable for you this evening, using the whole of the breath, but trying not to exceed the breath. When the breath stops, you stop. You could use your gaze, you could take your eyes up if you chose to. And if you're using the eyes, you could gaze towards the navel at the end of the out breath. But connecting this movement of the chest, the neck, the shoulders to the tilting of the pelvis. The perineum moves forward, presses down into the chair, or the forward towards the floor as you inhale and rocks backwards towards you as you exhale. And this way we're starting to loosen up the muscles that support the spine. Starting to connect with what is a comfortable range of movement this evening. And how the back feels. Feel those sensations as the spine shortens and lengthens. And in the next breath or so, letting go of this movement after the out breath. And you can keep your eyes closed if you choose to come back up to neutral spine. Take a breath or two to come back to vertical, relax the shoulders. Feel the sensations of that work all along the spine. And from here, I'm going to move into a side stretch. So I'm just going to turn around so you can see me better. And again, if you're sitting on the chair, you could take the knees wide, if that's more comfortable for you. Or if you're sitting cross-legged, again, if parts of you don't reach the floor, use a block or a blanket to support them, so that you have a good contact with the floor or whatever it is you're sitting on. So if you're sitting on a chair, press down with your feet, press down with the sit bones. You're going to stretch the right side, left side first, sorry. So chin towards the right shoulder, hand alongside you on the floor. Again, you might need something under that hand. Soften that right arm. Left hand, fingertips on the floor beside you. Again, if you're sitting on a chair, you'd be holding with your right hand on the right side of your seat. Inhaling, lifting that left arm. Keep that left sit bone in contact with the floor, exhaling as you bring the arm down. You're going to repeat this 4 times on your breath, opening up the side body as you inhale. Feel the navel moving back towards the spine to support it on the exhale. So there's an opening and closing. As we lift the arm, breathing in, you can feel the right side opening up, lengthening. But take care not to make that left arm stiffen, putting unnecessary tension into your left shoulder. One more time. Lift on the inhale. All the way down on the exhale. Now if that's fine, then the next time you lift your arm, you could rotate your head. So you inhale, look towards the thumb of the outstretched arm, breathing in and turning the chin. Gaze towards your right hand on the exhale. Try not to run out of breath before you complete those movements. One more. And after after you complete the next exhale, take a couple of breaths to come back to neutral. Feel the sensations in your left side, your left arm, your left shoulder. And you may want to adjust your feet if you're cross-legged, so you have the legs crossed the other way. Supporting any bits of you that don't reach the floor. Chin towards the left shoulder, palm to the floor. Right hand, fingertips on the floor beside the hip. Again, you could be holding the chair. So careful not to tilt onto the left sit bone as you breathe in and lift up that right arm. So the inhale lifts the arm away from the body, makes way for the breath in the right side of you. And on the exhale, notice the abdominals drawing towards the spine. Let the breath be the boss. Let the breath decide when you finish that stretching breath in. And if your neck feels okay today, then you may want to turn your head as you inhale to look up at your stretching arm. And look down at the hand beside you on the floor as you exhale. Whatever's comfortable for your neck. Twice more. All the while keeping the right sit bone down. Use that pressure from the thigh on the chair if you're sitting on a chair. And again, when you finish the next stretch, having breathed out and brought the arm down, take a couple of breaths and come back to neutral. Release those legs. This time I'm going to ask you to put your legs into a straddle. So if you're sitting on a chair, all you need to do is widen your knees, feet on the floor. And notice that the toes turn slightly outwards so that your knees are in line with your toes. Okay. Lengthen. Press the chest forward, breathing in. And we'll turn towards the right thigh, breathing out. As you breathe out, reach forward. Chest, belly comes towards the thigh. As you breathe in, come back to upright, open the chest. Neck stretch forward, aim to bring your forehead closer to the knee. Breathe in, take the gaze forward or even up. Next time you stretch forward, aim to take your nose towards the knee. Try and keep that left sit bone, left footprint anchored. Inhale up. Next time you stretch forward, aim to have the chin move closer to the knee. Inhale, look forward or up. And you decide where is comfortable. And next time we stretch forward, we're going to stay there. You can hug behind the knee. If you're on a chair, you could let your elbows drop to the knee or even have the hands hanging. And we're going to take 3 or 4 breaths here, depending on the length of your breath. You could let the chin, nose or forehead drop towards that knee. And feel that stretch going down the left side. The left hip, the left back. Equal pressure through both footprints. Slowly, gently, in the next breath or so, coming back to neutral. Return to the centre. Take a breath in, lengthen, gaze up or forward. And as you breathe out, line up your chest with your left thigh. You can keep the hands on the thigh or on the knee. Keep both footprints even on the floor. Inhale, look up or forwards. And as you exhale, reach forward with your chest towards that thigh. Look up, breathing in. And as you stretch forward, breathing out, forehead towards the knee. Inhaling, looking forward or up. Next time you reach forward, perhaps with your nose towards the knee. Again, inhaling forward or up. And if you feel it's available, reach forward with your chin. So having explored what's possible, what's comfortable and what's not, the next time you stretch forward, aim to find comfortable so that we can stay there. Check the pelvis isn't tilted. Park your arms where they feel comfortable and your shoulders feel relaxed. And we'll take 4, maybe 3 breaths in this pose. You might want to let your head drop. But keep your sit bones anchored. And feel that stretch down the right side, the right back. And then gently and slowly, in the next breath or so, you can use your arms walking back along the floor or along your thigh bone to come back to neutral. Take a breath or 2. And so from here, you go a little bit further with this. Maybe stretch that right leg away from you. Again, the leg doesn't have to be fully extended. If you have a tight hamstring, put something to support that thigh. So we start with the chest in neutral, the spine vertical. And we're going to lift that left arm, look up towards it on the inhale. And reach forward, elbow to knee as you exhale. Take the gaze and the elbow toward the knee. Inhale up, maybe following your hand with your eyes. Exhale, elbow to knee. So feel that spine rotating. Use the muscles in the back to open the chest. And we use the exhale, keeping the spine long. So the whole of the spine is rotating, including the neck. And if you want to stretch a bit further, then the next time you could sweep that left hand closer to the outside of your right ankle. Head towards the knee. You may want to put your right elbow on the right knee. Exhale as you rotate. Left hand to right ankle. And again. One more time. So we've been exploring what is comfortable. So the next time we breathe out and move into this folded stretch, we're going to stay there. And you might want to have your hands either side of your leg or your elbows on the knee if you're on a chair, or let your hands hang either side of the thigh if you're on a chair. And keeping the left foot working. So you keep that left hip anchored. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. And the neck is long. And again, just being here for 3 or 4 breaths. Feeling that stretch down the left back. Maybe down the back of the right leg. In the next few breaths, you can release yourself from this pose. Again, use your hands. Maybe walk your hands along the leg if you're on a chair, along the floor if you're sitting on the floor, and come back to neutral. Again, just feel that sensation down the back of the right leg, in the left back. So maybe support behind the thigh if you're on the floor. Stretch out your left leg. Taking a breath or two. Making sure the spine is in fact vertical. Inhale, lengthen, press the chest forward. And as you exhale, we'll turn towards the left leg. As you inhale, we lift the right arm. Maybe follow that right arm with your hand. And as you breathe out, elbow goes towards the knee. Again, you can have your left arm on the floor beside the leg, or on the knee or shin bone. Inhaling, right arm up. Exhaling, elbow to knee. Use the muscles in the back to help keep that chest pressing forward as you inhale. Keeping good contact with the right sit bone on your bolster, cushion, block or chair. Maybe put the left arm on the left shin or elbow on the knee if you're sitting on a chair. Inhaling, open the chest. Exhale, right hand to the outside of the left foot or ankle. The chest opens as you breathe in. And feel how the chest moves closer to the thigh as you exhale. So having explored what's comfortable, the next time we exhale, we're going to land in a comfortable stretch. Again, don't be fixed about reaching the ankle. You want your shoulders relaxed, square to your foot, leaving the neck long. Some of you may want to add to the stretch by bringing the head down closer to the knee. And again, a few breaths here. Feeling the stretch down the right back, the right waist, right hip, back of the left leg. One more breath. And slowly, when you're ready, use your hands to help you. Come back to that neutral position. Bring your knees closer together. Hands on the knees or on your lap if you're sitting on a chair. So just take a few breaths here. Notice the effect of those stretches on the length in the spine. And feel the sensations in the spine, the movement in the back body as you're breathing in and out. Waiting for the breath to settle. And then from here, we're going to settle into or onto the mat. Well, we'll do some more leg and hip stretching and some more twists. So, active Shavasana to begin with. Feet on the floor about hip width apart, knees looking at the ceiling. Something behind your head if you need it, so that your chin is tucked in. Arms away from the body. Again, that way, with the palms up, you're not tempted to use the arms. So just like we did when we were upright, we're going to start with that pelvic tilt. So on the inhale, you peel a few bones of the back and roll the pelvis away from you. Notice how far up the spine is lifting. And on the exhale, lifting the inner thighs, drawing the navel towards the spine, maybe tilting the tailbone a little bit away from the floor. So moving at your own pace, working with your breath, making that connection between the exhale and that lengthening and supporting the lumbar spine. Trying to use your arms and legs as little as possible. And of course, working with the breath. Moving when the breath is moving. And pausing when the breath is still. So last week, we had a go at feet to ceiling pose. And we did that. We can let that rocking go in the next breath or so. We did that with our hips raised, our pelvis tilted slightly inwards. So again, if you want to support your pelvis on the backs of your hands, you can, or if you prefer to substitute for any reason, if this isn't comfortable for your hands, you can put a small pillow, a folded up blanket, or possibly a block underneath you. I'm going to keep my toes together, and I'm going to inhale into feet to ceiling pose. Heels are slightly apart. Take care not to let the legs tremble. Exhale, knees to the chest. So there's no need to put the feet down between each stretch. Inhaling, press those feet upwards. Exhale, soften the legs all the way to the toes. Keep it going. We're exploring what's comfortable for your legs right now. Again, if it's not comfortable, your knees might start to tremble. One more time, feet up. Next time you have your legs elevated, maybe you'd like to hold the pose. Soften the knees to prevent any trembling. On an exhale, move the feet wider apart into a straddle. Inhale, bring the toes and knees together. 4 times on your breath. Exhaling wide, inhaling feet to ceiling. The knees don't have to be straight, nor should they be locked. Soft knees makes for a much better stretch. At the end of the exhale, the knees are wide. The peak of the inhale, knees together. So if you don't want to hold this, you can keep it moving. You can bend your knees and let your legs rest. If it's comfortable to hold it, let's hold this. 4 breaths. Those of you who want a deeper stretch, you may want to outwardly rotate those knees. So the knees and toes point towards the floor. Notice what's going on in the pelvic floor, in the belly as you exhale. Try and keep the back print balanced. Don't roll either to left or right. the next breath in, you can bring those feet, those knees together. Exhale, allow the feet to come gently all the way down to the floor. Lift the hips, release the hands. Return to our resting pose. Again, some movement here with the hands, maybe finger wiggling, wrist rolling, whatever feels right for you. And you can feel the sensations of that stretch, that effort. Down your legs, maybe all the way to the feet. When you are ready, pick up your right leg. Ankle, so the outside soft bit between the ankle and the soft part at the bottom of your foot, place on your left thigh bone. If it's uncomfortable, move your left foot further away. And again, it makes a big difference how close your left heel is to your bottom. You may need to repark your left foot so that you feel that you're equal balanced across your back print. You're not rolling to the right. If it's not a deep enough stretch, as you rotate that right knee away from you, then you may have to pick up the left foot. And you can secure that left thigh either with a strap or a belt behind the thigh bone, the left thigh, or you could maybe have your hands behind the right thigh, or behind the left thigh. And we're going to repeat that pelvic tilt. Inhale, move the left foot closer to the floor, and as the pelvis tilts away, feel the back lift. And as you exhale, draw that knee closer to the chest, feel the stretch in your right hip, right thigh. Inhale, left foot closer to the floor. Exhale. Knee to the chest. You can use your right elbow against the right thigh to keep that right knee moving away from you. So half a dozen breaths moving, just to explore what's comfortable. Try not to twist. Try not to roll to the side. And in the next breath or so, stay in the pose. Relax the shoulders, soft elbows. Maybe feeling that stretch going all the way into the right thigh as you're breathing. Supporting that left leg either behind the knee or with a strap. And in the next breath or so, release the left leg, foot to the floor, put the right foot down, arms away from the body, let's breathe, and feel those sensations going down the right leg from the hip, through the back of the leg, all the way to the right foot. So from here, we're going to do the same stretch on the left. So when you're ready, firm back print on the floor, pick up the left foot and place the soft bit between your ankle bone and the edge of your foot on the right thigh. You might need to repark your right foot to make sure your back print is still balanced, you're not rolling to the left. As you turn or press gently on your left thigh to turn that knee away from you, you may or may not be feeling enough of a stretch. If you're not, then pick up your right thigh, your right foot. You can place your foot on a block if you want to, or if you can reach without lifting the shoulders, hold behind the right thigh, using the left elbow perhaps to keep that left thigh moving away from you. So pelvic tilting to begin with. Inhale, move the thigh, feel the pelvic tilt and the spine lifts a little bit. And as you exhale, draw that thigh closer to the chest to feel that stretch in the left hip. But again, I'm trying to do this with the minimum of effort from my arms. All of the movement is coming from the muscles in the back, the hips, the pelvis. My arms are just there to help keep my legs steady. This is thread needle pose. So I'm tipping the pelvis backwards and forwards, finding out what's comfortable, but the back stays evenly balanced on the floor. And maybe we'll take a few breaths here, holding. You can keep moving if you prefer. Feel that stretch down the left side. Left thigh, left buttock, left back. Breathe all the way into that hip. One more breath. And then release that right thigh, right foot on the floor, uncross your legs, put the left foot on the floor, hands away from the body, relax your hands, your arms, your shoulders, and breathe. While you feel the sensations of that stretch going all the way down the left side of you. From the hip to the foot. And from here, pick up your feet one at a time, hand on each knee, and the hands are just there to keep the knees steady, and we circle the knees on the breath. So move the knees wide as you inhale. Bring the knees and toes together and closer to the chest as you exhale. Keep the toes together if it helps to keep your knees steady. Wide on the inhale. And together and closer to the chest on the exhale. Keep it going with your breath. So at the peak of the breath in, your knees are wide. And at the peak of the breath out, the knees are together and closer to the chest. And in the opposite direction. Again, inhaling, moving the knees away. Exhaling, knees together. breath is moving, pausing when the breath is not. And on the next exhale, complete the practice. Allow the feet to gently step down to the floor one at a time. Arms away from the body, shoulders maybe at elbows at shoulder height, backs of the hands on the floor. And from here, we're going to move left and right on the breath. So as you exhale, keeping both feet on the floor, feet are a comfortable distance from you and apart from each other. Maybe have the toes together with the heels a little wider. And as you exhale, roll onto the right foot, lifting the left foot completely. Maybe the head drops to the left. Inhaling, coming back to the center. Roll onto the left foot. Chin drops to the right as you exhale. Inhale, come back to the neutral. Both hips, both feet on the floor, and the balance, the weight in the back of the head. Exhale and twist. Knees right, chin left. So as we exhale, we're twisting. And again, we're exploring what's comfortable and what's not. And the movements that we're making are assisting the breath. And the breath assists the practice by lengthening the spine as you move into that twist. But all the time, those shoulders, those arms stay anchored. And although the weight in the back of the head moves from left to the right, the head stays firmly anchored to the floor. And when you find that you've next rolled to the left, because we started this movement on the right, come back to neutral, have a pause. And then when you're ready, if you wanted to take that stretch a bit deeper, pick up your right leg and cross it over the left. Again, reparking your left foot so that your back print feels balanced. As we exhale, again, roll to the right. So the weight of the right leg is dropping onto the left leg. Inhale back to the center. We're going the same way. Knees right, chin left maybe. Inhaling, unraveling, making space for that breath. So we're rolling to the right, onto the right hip, right leg on top of the left. Keep it moving on the breath. And having repeated that stretch 4 or maybe 5 times, depending on the length of your breath, some of you may be able to wrap your right foot behind the left ankle. Again, if you can't, doesn't matter. And And as we exhale, roll all the way over to the right. You may want to shift your right foot or left foot on the floor, but careful not to lift that left shoulder. And so for me, to resist the temptation to let my legs drop too far, I'm going to use my bolster, or I could use a blanket so that my legs can rest. To deepen the twist in the neck, I may wish to pick up my head and gaze towards my left outstretched arm. I'm going to take at least four full breaths in this pose. Enjoying that stretch down the left front body, the groin, the rib cage. And around the back of my waist. And in the next breath or so, on an in-breath, head to center, knees to center, uncross the legs, and maybe repark your tailbone. And again, notice the effect of that stretch on the way the hips are aligned. Feel the sensation all the way down the legs. Next breath or two, we're going to do exactly the same, moving for the first 4 breaths, left leg crossed over the right, parking the right foot, on the floor where you feel the hips are balanced, weight in the back of the head and even across the back of the low back. And we twist to the left. Exhaling, chin to the right, keep the right shoulder down as you allow those knees to move to the left. Inhaling, back to the center. Going the same way, rolling onto the left hip and to the right side of the head. On the exhale, moving back to neutral on the inhale to make room for that breath. And after 4, maybe more, moving with the breath, you'll know if it's comfortable. You may wish to wrap that left foot behind the right ankle. You may wish to move your blocks, your blankets, your bolsters to the left side. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And we roll into the twist with the intention of finding a comfortable twist so we can stay there. And when the twist is comfortable, the breath is full. And you can feel that twisting, that stretching, moving all through the spine. The stretching sensation down the right side.
weight of the left leg dropping onto the right thigh. And feeling the sensation of that breath as it stretches all the way into the right hip. One more breath here. Gently, slowly, when you're ready, release yourself from the pose. Maybe bring the head back first, and then the legs, and then uncross. Both feet on the floor, feet hip width apart, arms away from the body. And we'll have a pause here. Feel the weight in the center of the back of your skull. Chin tucked in so the neck is long. Feel the arm prints and the footprints and the sensations of that stretch all down the right side. And most importantly, notice the breath you're now breathing. So we'll finish with Apanasana, feet off the floor, a hand on each knee. Knees can be apart, but maybe have the toes just touching. Soft shoulders, relax the elbows, chin to throat. And on the inhale, tilt the pelvis away from you. Feel the spine lifting. And as you exhale, knees to the chest, belly to the spine, feel the back flattening. Move when the breath is moving. Pausing when the breath is still. Notice that this pose tends to settle the breath as it's settling the spine, and maybe also lengthening those pauses. Those moments when the air isn't flowing. And in the next breath or so, or when you're ready, you can find your feet one at a time, find the floor. Elbows away from the body, upper arms relaxing into the floor, so you've got heavy shoulders. Some of you may want to slide your feet towards the corners of your mat, but you don't have to rest with your legs long. And 100% of your focus on that breath you're now breathing. And so, for this practice, moving into the pranayama now, it is better if you are sitting upright. But that doesn't mean you have to sit on the floor. You can sit on a chair, you can sit with your back to the wall, you can kneel, whatever is comfortable for you. So decide, be honest, if you're reluctant to sit cross-legged on the floor, then don't. You'll get far more out of the practice if you are sitting comfortably. So when you're ready, you bend the left leg, you roll gently over onto your right side and take your time because you don't want to come up too swiftly and disturb that breath we've been nurturing. So while you're getting comfortable, I just wanted to remind you that just as with the asana, so with the pranayama, it is work, not struggle. Last week, we experimented with breathing through a single nostril. And this week, we're going to continue to balance the energy through the nadi, those two energy channels that cross and spiral round your spine. Now this time we're going to use nadi shodhana, or the alternate nostril breath. So again, if you're having difficulty breathing through one nostril, then you could just do the practice by imagining that you're doing it and using your mind to direct the breath and the attention through the nostrils. First step is to make sure that we're vertical. Draw the chin to the throat so the neck is long. Letting go of any rigidity that may restrict the breath. So we're going to close the nostrils gently with the thumb and the fourth finger. So the first two fingers you fold into the palm of your hand. This is the Murgi mudra, said to look like a deer, or be a deer. Okay, and it allows you space in which to breathe, whilst gently using the pad of the thumb and the fourth finger to close the nostrils alternately at the top of the nose, near the bridge of the nose, not down by the flared parts of the nostrils. Again, if you find it difficult to use the right arm, you can support it with your left hand. So let's begin then. So we're going to breathe in through both nostrils. And then you close the right nostril and breathe out on the left. Breathe in on the left. Close the left nostril, breathe out and then in on the right. Close the right nostril, breathe out and then in on the left. That's one round. So you inhale, you change nostrils and then you exhale. Every time you breathe out on the left, you count. Inhale, change, exhale. So the next time you're breathing out on the left, we'll modify the practice slightly by counting the breath in and keeping the exhale the same length as the inhale. And if you don't want to count, you could use the mantra, Rama, 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 Rama. Or you could say to yourself, I am breathing in. I am breathing out. One more round. Next round, we're going to pause at the peak of the in-breath, holding the breath in briefly for half the length of the breath in. So if your breath in is 4, you would hold the breath in for 2. I am breathing in. Count 2. Exhale. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling. Hold the breath in, count 2. Exhaling. 3, 4. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Even exhale and inhale. Holding the pause at the peak of the inhale, and the pause is half as long as the breath. Next time you complete the round, exhaling on the left, we're going to add the other pause at the end of the exhale. So you might be breathing in for 4, pausing for 2, exhale through the opposite nostril for 4, pause for 2. Starting on the left then, working with me if you choose, inhaling on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause, 1, 2, exhaling on the right, 2, 3, 4, and pause for 2, and inhale on the right, 2, 3, 4, pause for 2,
And exhaling on the left, 2, 3, 4, and pause. 2. Inhale on the left. The pause is half the length of the in-breath. Exhaling on the right. The pause is half the length of the out-breath. And when you complete the next round, find yourself exhaling on the left. You can release yourself from this effort. Rest your right arm. And return to breathing through both nostrils. Eyes closed, spine long. And gradually letting any edits of the breath go. Not counting, not measuring, not pausing. Just letting the breath be. Observing the effects of this breath as your breath settles into its spontaneous, comfortable rhythm. And you can take as long as you like at this point, waiting for the breath to settle. And when your breath has settled, you don't want to move too quickly to disturb it. Therefore, it would be counterproductive to get up and rush around right now. So the best thing to do is move carefully and slowly whenever you're ready. So if you're not ready yet, you could push pause. Wait until you are. But when you are ready, move down onto your mat so that you can rest completely in Shavasana. And don't forget, this is your practice. So you might want to move your device closer to you so that you can rest a little bit longer than perhaps this recording allows. Yeah, you're not in a village hall somewhere. You don't have to get up and go anywhere anytime soon. And also, make a fuss of yourself. Remember, there is nothing wrong. The reason why we practice is to be involved, to be intimate with ourselves. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself. We don't do yoga for any given result. We do it just because we love it. So make a fuss. Get that eye pillow. Get that extra pair of socks or a blanket. And at the end of our practice, we have this unique experience where although the body is completely at ease and the breath is completely at ease, the mind is still awake and alert and aware, unlike when we're sleeping, when we're unconscious. So if resting with the legs long doesn't suit you, if you want your legs raised or feet up on a chair, then that's fine. Whatever you need, however you wish to rest, so that you are completely comfortable. Having the right mindset as well, having the intention of resting as the whole body. Scanning through the body, letting go of any unnecessary tension, tightness, resistance. And as we withdraw from the world, instead of being alive to all the distractions in the outside world, we look instead inwards. We turn our senses inwards. And we become alert to and aware of the sensations of life. Feel that prana moving through the body. And again, this changes day by day. It may be a sense of the whole body breathing. It may be some sensations of tingling. Maybe in the skin, under the skin. However it's manifesting it, notice that life, notice that prana, atta, right here, right now. It's a conscious turning our minds away from all the distractions, all the nonsense going on around us, and anchoring ourselves to the life within you. And although that prana may be moving, maybe pulsating, maybe tingling up and down you, inside there's a growing sense of stillness. Maybe there's even a feeling that something or somebody is watching. Maybe a sense that we are resting in the whole body. Not just as a whole body. A sense perhaps that through this prana we form a connection to every living thing, plant or animal, bird or fish. This prana connects us all. Through our connection with the breath, we form a connection with life itself. The prana moves into us on the breath. Breath and prana moving within your body. Bringing this gift of life. And this opportunity, also a gift. Enjoying these sensations of life. Enjoying this opportunity to be at peace. These precious moments where we have intimacy, connected to the sensation of life within your body right here, right now, without judgment. I would remind you, this is your practice. You are at home in your own space. If you want to rest longer, then please do. Perhaps press pause. Until you're ready to return to vertical. When you have rested and you're ready, we're going to gently, slowly come back to life. So rolling slowly, carefully. Maybe if your legs are stretched out, bend the left leg and gently roll onto your right side. And we'll just stay here a little while. Perhaps cradle the back of your head with your right arm. Draw your knees in a little closer in a hug. Maybe slide the left hand between your legs to catch hold of the shin, the ankle. So you're lying on your side, curled up, in the posture that you spent the first 9 months of your life in. As if we're beginning our journey back to life from this same fetal position, being reborn. So you may wish to start exploring the world with your ears, like you did when you were in the womb. Noticing the ticking of clocks, other people's footsteps, sound of passing traffic, starting to connect yourself to the outside world. Maybe you feel a spontaneous deepening or lengthening of the breath. Maybe you take a really deep breath just prior to peeling yourself off the floor. And gently and slowly coming back to vertical. But I remind you, this is your practice. You do what feels right. Last Just before we finish the practice, maybe take a moment, hand on the heart, or maybe both hands in your heart space, the anahata, palm to palm. So one heart at a time. We put peace in our heart so that we might be more peaceful. And in turn we share that with others. So when you're ready, maybe join me in a chant of Om Shanti. Preparing for the Om, breathing out completely. Full breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for watching and making the time for your practice.
Namaste.
Thank you too to Bert. Never misses an opportunity.
Do you, Bert?
I hate to move him really. He's so happy here.